Hi, Branwen.
Hi.
What is your favourite line from The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 7 and or 8?
It's from episode 7 and it's Boba.
Oh, yeah?
Who doesn't have many lines, but he says, let's just say they might recognise my face. Which is such a beautiful line. It's like, it takes 2 seconds to work out and then it's like, oh, that's so good. Seah, what's your favourite line from The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 7 or 8?
It's from Episode 8 and it's also Boba. And it took me a couple of times. I also had to pause it to write it down. Well, if that isn't the quactor calling the stifling slimy.
Guess what I was Googling this morning?
What were you Googling this morning?
Quactor and stiflings.
What they are.
Which apparently, yeah, we'll get to them.
We'll get to them. Okay.
Let's get to them. You're listening to Sisters of the Force, and today we're here to break down The Mandalorian Chapters 15 and 16. Had to do some quick mental arithmetic there to convert from Season 2, Episode 7 and 8. Or, yeah. Chapter 15, The Believer, and Chapter 16, The Rescue. And we are very excited. Why are we excited, Seah?
Because we have our first ever returning guest.
Woo!
Oh my God! It's Jessika, she's back!
I may not have been able to claim first guest, but I got first returning. Oh yeah, thanks for having me back.
Yay!
We're so happy to have you back. We so enjoyed talking Revenge of the Sith with you all those months ago, and it's awesome that you're back for these 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Are you not going to ask?
We're going to ask, what is your favourite line?
Sorry, that was so rude of me. I was like, come on, you got to do your lines. Come on, please.
We do this every single time. Like, whenever I listen back to the episodes, I'm like, we just forgot.
We just forgot. Go on then. What's your favourite line from season... Wait, I got to do the whole thing. Jessika, what is your favourite line from The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 7 and or 8?
It's from Episode 8, and it's by Mando himself. I yield. It's yours.
Nice.
That's such a deep line.
Yeah.
I just love it. He just doesn't care about the Darksaber. No, you have to win it in combat. I yield. It's yours.
Nah.
Just take it. I got my kid. Why do I care?
Everybody else in the room is like, you can't say that.
I did have, well, if that isn't the quactor calling the stifling slimy written down for my fave that I was going to say, but luckily I had backups.
She also flipped me off when I said it, but it's an audio medium, so
yeah, but you don't have to beat me this time. It was visual.
I've just realised I've already done a bleep, so
yeah, you did.
We're in already.
Right at the beginning.
It's the influence I have, the dark side spreading.
You just bring out all of the worst qualities.
All the swear words.
Oh dear, here we go. Right, so Chapter 15, The Believer. We've got Rick Famuyiwa back.
Yes.
He is amazing. He is such an awesome director. And he directs quite a lot in Season 3, I believe, as I remember.
I'll look forward to that. No spoilers, I'm not there yet.
Our lips are sealed. Yeah, it's an amazing episode. This is very serious compared to the rest of The Mandalorian, I thought.
It is quite serious.
This Episode 7, it's very serious. It's got some real, heavy moments that a lot of it's inferred, Mayfeld's conversation with the Imperial officer. You get the big details, thousands of people burned, but the tone, the callousness of the officer, Mayfeld's regret on his face, it's really
all of it.
Really punchy.
The acting between the 3 of them in that scene is just phenomenal. It's got those Andor vibes of deeper Star Wars. Very, like you say, loads of themes. It's intense. I love it.
It opens on our favourite crane.
Oh yeah, this is the crane that we had before on Trask, I believe. Yeah. Was it in Episode 3 of this season?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk about that crane. Because
you want to talk about the crane?
This is under my best bit you both missed. But I have to give you some background first, because something that I've noticed in the podcasts that have come since my first appearance is you've been asking people what it is they do.
Oh, yeah.
And although I briefly mentioned having done some performance in the past, and I don't know if I mentioned this when we were recording, but I did say I felt qualified to talk about film theory because I did a fortnight of film studies once. But my main thing that I do is I make things with my hands. Sculptures, scale models, custom miniatures for games, some of which have sound and light features, entire sets for performance that have interactive elements. So I'm a miniature maker. And
amazing.
Miniatures as part of film is a dying art.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, really, that era, Star Wars, Alien, 2001, there's so much incredible detail in the space, in the vehicles, in the way that they move. I watched a wonderful documentary on the early Star Wars miniatures and some of the more recent ones. And they had to film like Vader and his 2 TIE fighters are 3 separate films against blue screen. Yeah. And then the Death Star Trench is filmed separately, and then the layering is done. And in this documentary that I was watching, because I watched it partly to see if I could get more info on Grogu, but I had to look up more about Grogu because I'm fascinated by Grogu's animatronic, and I'll gladly talk about him in episode 8 when he's actually here.
He's not in this one.
But this miniature documentary had some stuff from Mando. I didn't realise that the Razor Crest was a miniature. Ooh. Now, obviously, RIP, I've come in too late to talk about the Razor Crest because it's a pile of mess.
It's gone.
But one of the other miniatures, and this is I bet you two didn't know this, is those cranes.
Wow.
They built a miniature crane.
Those cranes to sit in the background of, because it's one of their 360-degree screen filming shots, the scrapyard that Mayfield's in. But the crane itself in the background was a mini. And that's why it carries that bit of weight and has that bit of depth to it. So that was the construction walkers and miniatures was the thing you didn't know. Bringing my own traditions to the podcast.
I love it. I wonder if that one is the same one that they used in episode 3 of this season.
I would assume so. The clip they showed in the documentary was specifically from episode 7. But now that you're mentioning it's been in earlier, I would assume they made it because they have to make all the animatronics and stuff before they begin filming.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, to make all the 3D stuff for the volume and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it could have been like an adapted one. They might have just done a few little tweaks to make it look a bit different, change it up a bit.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. You just wouldn't think that. You just assume CGI always nowadays, and it's not the case.
No.
And it was annoying as hell because in the miniatures documentary they called it a crane AT-AT, and I was like, it's not that. But it's fine. It's fine.
We'll send some complaints along to the documentary makers.
Oh no, it was a behind the scenes chat. It was someone involved with Mando that said, we made a crane AT-AT, and it's like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, but John Favreau's still saying Baby Yoda to this day, so...
yeah,
not helpful.
Apparently.
Not helpful, John.
Not helpful, we're not doing
it. So we're on the Carthon chop fields, which I'd never heard of, and I had to look that up. But there's just gorgeous looking Imperial scrap everywhere.
Yes.
It's all beautifully aged and rusty looking. There's bits of rusty TIE fighters and all sorts around.
It looks grim.
We've got an N5 sentry droid, which the sound design of its legs is a little bit K2.
I've got this written down. My obsession with the visual language. The prison droid is very much K2 with a different helmet going on.
Yeah. The way it's shot, like a really low angle. When we first see it, it could be I was waiting, thinking, is it? I can't remember it being a K2. It also reminded me a bit of, do you remember are you a Clone Wars watcher, Jessica?
I've seen bits. I wanted to watch a few key arcs, but I've not seen much of it. I'm going to watch along while you're doing all the episodes later this year.
When we cover it.
Because there's a kind of a separatist droid called the T-Series Tactical Droid, which oversee what the B1s and the B2s and stuff are all doing.
Okay.
And there's a few of them mentioned. I'm not sure if there might be one in Rebels at some point even. Anyway, they've got that same sort of thing. They're a bit top-heavy looking, and they've got these kind of rectangular heads kind of thing. It wasn't. I went and looked up a picture of the Separatist droids, and it doesn't look exactly the same, but yeah, it's a kind of a combination of...
It's that visual language evolution, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, we talked about that in our Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it's something I'm obsessed with, is that because Star Wars is such a dear property to fans and has been so well looked after by whoever's stewarding it as a franchise, be it George or Kathleen or now Dave, like the things that maintain fascinate me, and the things that evolve fascinate me, and I love that there's that attention to detail going on way outside of, you know, like, I assume obviously if it's someone who's heavily involved like Dave Filoni, like, that he probably says, oh, I want this thing, or can we age up that thing? But like when I watch Andor, it's still present in Andor, and I know Tony Gilroy was very much about the story he was trying to tell, not necessarily about like the mythos, the Star Wars details. So that's got to be someone in the production crew who's going, oh, do this, or make this look like that. And I just love that it's cared about that much, and that it makes logical sense. And that droid is a great example.
I think we've got like Doug Chang. He's been there for so long, you know, and like from before the prequels, I think he might have joined Lucasfilm when they were making the prequels, but he's been leading the design stuff for so long, and obviously understands George's original vision, because it all still looks like A New Hope, you know. It's so amazing how they've managed to do this for so long. 50 years of it. Wow.
So we're busting Mayfield out.
Inmate 34667. I want a prison uniform with Arabesh numbers on to tell me what prison number I'm at. There's probably a BuzzFeed quiz somewhere like, what prison number would you be? On the Carth and Chop fields. If there's not, I think we should make one.
You can write it.
The droid gives us a lovely little RoboCop reference where he says, you have 3 seconds to comply. with your directive.
It's great, that. It's great.
Nice.
Mayfield does get an excellent line when they round the corner and he sees Boba of, you know, for a second, I thought you were this other guy. Like, brilliant. And then Boba steps sideways and we get the flute, and there we go.
Get Mando.
Brilliant. He says something about the little green guy as well in this kind of bit.
Yeah, he does.
They've taken his kid. Fennec says they've taken his kid. And you go,
the little green guy.
The little green guy? Yeah.
That's such a Mayfeld line. This is where we first get to see a really good view of the like rotating Slave One mechanics.
The way the inside shifts.
From inside.
While they're in the sort of hold bit. I guess it's in the hold, because I don't think we've ever seen in the hold. We've seen in the cockpit before. But it's so cool. I presume they must have done this in the volume somehow, because like the camera's obviously locked with the actors, but everything outside is floating around, which is amazing.
I still think it's amazing that an iron can be made to fly so well.
It does look like an iron.
An iron with little tiny wings.
Tiny wings on it.
Well, they're for like jetting out the steam or whatever. I really love the background scrapyard noises before they get in. There's so much. Like, I've worked in like mechanicing places and been around a lot of builds of stuff before, and it's very real. They've obviously not just tried to make it sci-fi. It sounds like what tearing ships apart would be.
Industrial.
Again, it reminded me of Andor, how real Ferrix sounds.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a parallel with Ferrix, I feel.
Well, I wondered if they were filming or making this just after, because like you say, there's the feel of the episode, but there's at least like half a dozen mentions of the ISB in this episode, and I'm like, they're so untalked about prior to Andor. Like in supplementary material, and like books and stuff, and I'm sure in the RPG, then they must have been a thing, but they're not in a lot of the live action.
Okay. I think at this point...
It's happening!
You preempted the West End Geek Girls segment for this episode. Well done. You win the prize.
A one-way trip.
We don't know what the prize is yet.
So... Famously, the ISB was originally a kind of product of the role-playing game. It's in the very first rulebook.
I love that. I figured that out.
There we go.
In the original rulebook in 1989 or whatever it was, there's a sort of example adventure at the end, just a little short thing to run with your players, you know, as you're learning the game. And within that, there's a character that's from the ISB, the bad guy. Ooh. So the first mention of it is in that adventure. And there's a little chapter where it says, for the first time in decades, ancient speakers throughout the tunnels crackle to life. A grim, heartless voice announces, attention rebels, this is ISB officer Ma Barez, and so on. And that little tiny thing,
that's where the ISB comes from,
spawned a massive plot line in Andor. It's wild. The guy who wrote part of that first book, who wrote that adventure, he just can't get his head around the fact that he just came up with that little detail. Obviously, they expanded on it, and in the second edition of the role-playing game book, you get like a much more detailed breakdown. They brought out an Imperial source book with all just like details about all the different parts of the Imperials. And there's a great bit about the ISB where it says it was created to increase the Emperor's knowledge of political events and as an intentional rival to the Imperial intelligence, which is obviously another body, which I don't know that's in
I don't know that's been touched on.
The Imperial.
They mention accessing military, requisitioning military forces in Andor when the ISB gets more over control, oversight, I should say. But I don't know if they've ever talked about military intelligence.
No, I feel like in somewhere, whether it might be in one of the animated series or something, there was reference to like the ISB having a kind of competitor within the Imperial umbrella, a bit like the CIA and the FBI, I guess, that they both have their kind of jurisdictions and sometimes they cross over and, there's a little bit of sort of competition.
I feel like maybe without spoiling stuff for Seah, because she's not seen season 2, but I think there might be a mention of some other intelligence bureau in season 2. I think so.
I feel like that. I mean, that's a very Palpatine move, like set two things up. The whole
it's literally
Clone Wars
that.
is
It's like, well, it worked once, don't fix it if it ain't broken.
Don't fix it, just do it.
And they do talk about that in the rule book, about like that this competition is what causes them to like be constantly trying to outdo each other. The ISB apparently has more public presence than the Imperial intelligence, and the operatives, especially in surveillance, often identify themselves as members of the ISB because there's intimidation value in that. Like if they tell somebody they're from the ISB, it scares like Imperial officers or stormtroopers or whatever, because they're just constantly being scrutinized and nasty. Nasty.
I love that me saying that it might have been the roleplay game got the West End girls. I'm so happy right now. I'm proper chuffed.
I was going to bring it up when it actually appears, when Mayfeld start talking about it, but we're nearly there anyway.
We're nearly there. Because we're off on a side quest before we can do the main quest.
I mean, a side quest isn't necessary. They don't know where Gideon's ship is.
This is a quest adjacent to the main quest.
This is very much necessary first stage.
Yeah, feels like
they're off.
We're going to Morak, which is very... I don't know how you feel about this or whether it's even appropriate to talk about it, but it felt a bit Vietnamish to me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's jungle-like and...
Yeah. And you've got guerrillas fighting an Imperial force.
Yeah, exactly. And when they're passing by, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but when they're on the Juggernaut and they're passing by like the shanty towns, and it just looks like the local population have been absolutely hammered by...
It's a very similar shot looking out of their cabin to like out of the helicopter shots in like Full Metal Jacket or Apocalypse Now or whatever. Like we're passing people who are just living their lives. Yeah. And even with tiny features like them carrying stuff on their heads like people do in places where access to roads to push stuff along isn't so common. I agree with you. It made me think of that sort of...
I mean, I'm sure that's intentional. Like George has said before, that A New Hope was like, it was written about wartime in general, but like obviously the Vietnam War was just finished at that point. So stands to reason.
Yeah.
So they get in this Juggernaut, and Mayfeld almost instantly starts kind of irritating Mando into taking his helmet off.
The kind of banter... Mayfeld is a bit of a banter machine in a way.
Yes.
And he's very good at aggravating everybody.
Yes.
When they're stealing the Juggernaut, there's an amazing bit where Kara takes out the two drivers on her own with her bare hands. And the drivers have got their like heavy like armor on. Why they need armor to drive a Juggernaut, I don't know.
I mean, heavy, it gets broken by a stick.
This is true.
He tries to protect with it like it's Beskar, and then looks at his arm like, oh yeah, I'm not wearing Beskar.
This is true.
It broke.
But like, I know what you mean, Seah. He's talking to Mando a lot about his helmet.
Yeah.
And taunting him,
trying to get him to take it off, which he was doing before as well. We've seen him do this before. Yeah. But he's doubling down in a way that's quite unpleasant.
Going back to Kara again, just before they get going, Mando entrusts her with his armor, which I thought was pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, that's his life, that's his whole kind
everything.
of existence, yeah.
Yeah.
She has proved herself several times to him by this point.
They've really connected, yeah. They've really made like a strong bond.
It shows how much he cares about Grogu.
Yeah, this is it.
Which this whole episode is.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Some good foreshadowing.
Mando's definitely giving Mayfeld the silent treatment, though.
Yes.
He's not biting.
I would too.
Yeah. And this is where we really see that desolation we were talking about. There's like trash along the side of the roads, which I don't know if that comes from the Empire, probably. And yeah, we go past like there's some kids that there's this sort of like mirror of Mando looking at himself as a child almost.
Yeah.
We don't know much about where he came from, but it didn't look like a particularly technologically advanced place in those flashbacks that we've had.
No.
So he may have a similar sort of background. Which again is another parallel with Andor, seeing Cassian grow up on the planet where he grew up.
Canary,
that's it. Which again is like a low-tech sort of planet.
Yeah, well, they've been abandoned there after a mining thing, haven't they? Did you notice that the Juggernaut, it's an adapted version of the prison transport that Jyn is in Rogue One, and that is the same 10-wheeled vehicle that's then been updated from the clone vehicle from the beach in Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith. It's another one of me going visual language. It's wonderful, this 10-wheel off-roader that's been an assault transport and then been used in various other transport roles and is still going as now a Rhydonium transport.
Yeah.
Love Rhydonium mentioning as well. Love that stuff.
It's a little bit of a coaxium in Solo, like the time pressure thing. Well, not the time pressure, but the like temperature thing.
Temperature pressure. Not rocking it too much.
Yeah. It's a bit like Speed as well, the movie Speed with Keanu.
Yeah.
Similar vibes.
But that's all going to get messed up because we got some pirates turn up.
Yes.
As you do.
Yeah.
So we've got pirates, but then like we've had this kind of little thing from Mayfeld about like, well, Empire, Mandalorians all the same.
Yeah.
You're all, and then he's kind of almost instantly proved right because other pirates, rebels trying to get rid of the Empire and they're now helping the Empire. Like what?
Yeah, I was wondering
it's
about
all very confusing.
The pirates' motivation because they're trying to blow it up. Like, if they'd been trying to steal it, that would have made sense. But you put a thermal detonator on top of one of these juggernauts and...
I just thought they're trying to keep it out of the hands of the Empire is what I thought they were up to.
I figured they were natives and they were trying to dissuade the Empire from staying by making it too costly.
Potentially,
to bother getting the Rhydonium there.
Yeah.
They clearly had a successful day because every other juggernaut was blown up.
Yeah.
I mean, they did refer to them as pirates, but that might have just been the assumption, that they're Shydop, the race, which we haven't seen many Shydops. There's a Jedi that is a species that looks similar, and I can't remember what the name of that species is, that's got kind of like horns that come down, whereas these seem like soft things down either side of their face, like these kind of tentacly things.
Yeah.
A bit like miniature Leku sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's one in Gorian Shard's crew in the next season, the pirate that like camps outside Navarro.
Yeah.
And they turn up in Skeleton Crew as well. It's probably the same pirates because there's a lot of crossover with Skeleton Crew and the pirates from Mando. So.
Okay.
But
nice.
They're not successful this time.
They're not successful, no.
Because they're facing Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that we've had a blaster run out of ammo?
Well,
I can't remember another time. He clicks it and then throws it.
And it stops. Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
We had a question about this in an earlier episode about, I think you
had
asked
a question
Seah,
about them,
like, how do they work? And there was a thing about the role-playing game about how...
Charge.
Recycling energy charge.
In them. Yeah.
I think we've had jammed blasters.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely had jammed.
Well, Kara's does in the next episode, but running out of...
Maybe not.
Yeah. I think he did better anyway without...
Yeah, definitely.
Without it,
Definitely.
He's not really a blaster guy, is he?
But it all leads to this rather hilarious thing of like cheering TIE fighters, like Mayfeld does the whoop.
Yeah.
The classic Star Wars whoop.
And the TIE fighters even get a heroic rise of music.
Yeah.
Like,
which we've
there's
never
quite a
had
frantic
before.
tapping while Mando's fighting on top of the Juggernaut with the flute behind it. It's quite like intense. And then the TIE fighters get this like, ta-da, the heroes come
The fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's all very on its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, and it just does, again, feed that thing that Mayfeld was talking about. It's like, you're all the same.
But I like Mando's response to that, because Mayfeld tries to use that to then he moves on to like, oh, you're breaking your rules when you're in a situation when you have to. Like, whether the group in control has similarities, no matter its allegiance, when he tries to show that him and Mando have similarities, Mando's response of, let's get one thing straight, you and I are nothing alike.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess what he's meaning is the motivation behind it. Like, Mayfeld might break his rules for himself, but Mando's breaking rules for Grogu.
Yeah.
And that's very different.
Yeah.
Mando's going through a massive character change since he met Grogu. You know, even across the last 2 seasons, he's experienced a lot of feelings he's probably never had before, and he's made decisions.
He found out he was in a cult.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah. He's figuring all kinds of stuff out. And so somebody like Mayfeld is questioning him, and it's making him question himself, which is a great like technique of writing to make a character question themselves by putting a really annoying antagonist in every sense of the word. He's just antagonizing Mando.
But then, they've essentially completed an Empire mission for them.
Yeah.
And they're being like heralded as heroes.
Yeah, and it's good to see that even in the post, like Palpatine's first life phase, that where they've positioned their facility, the bridge going in, there is a ridiculous, massive, dangerous drop with very little guardrail. So they're still adhering to the Imperial safety standards as mandated by Palpatine. I was very happy to see that was upheld despite his missingness.
His not being there,
Yeah, it's like good. They're sticking to his principles.
It is a particular design feature.
Yes.
It is a design feature.
Yeah.
It's like,
if you're not good enough to hold on without a rail, you better not work for the Empire,
You're off.
There's all kinds of cheering of like glory of the Empire, and there's all different types of Imperial
are there.
officers
we got
and shore troopers.
I was going to say we've got the beachy style beige troopers, from Scarif, and they have an individual helmet design. It's somewhere between a scout trooper and a stormtrooper. I did wonder because I couldn't see a shore. I was like, is it less that they're for beach operations and more that they're a base trooper, whereas stormtroopers are units that can be assigned wherever you need more reinforcement? I wasn't sure.
They were name checked as shore troopers in the captions, like I was watching the subtitles on, and it did name them as that. And I think they were called that when Rogue One came out.
Yeah, I knew that for Rogue One, but then I was like, are they now, because this is so many years later, I was like, are they just base? But I did wonder where all the the beige uniforms had come from. I don't know if you noticed as well, some of the worker guys in the Imperial base have the dome. Like it's almost like a hard hat, but with a flat brim, and it's the same worker hat that some of the guys on Ferrix wear.
Is that the one? There's a couple of guys on the roof, like operating one of the big heavy guns, and they're also on the Death Star.
Yeah, the Death Star gunner helmets. Yeah, not those ones. No, it's more workery guys who are unloading the Rhydonium.
Oh, okay.
They're just background. They're not in trooper armor, but they've got like a metal work helmet.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean. I know the ones.
But I've got written down the Death Star gunner helmets on the cannon crew, which was great.
I managed. It was quite hard to find what they are actually called, but I think technically they're called Imperial Navy Troopers, which is a very generic sounding name.
I suppose they're manning big guns, naval guns. Yeah,
kind of makes sense.
There's quite a diverse range of Imperials here, which is quite interesting to see all of these. Like, I don't suppose we get to see them in context when they're not fighting rebels or whatever. You know, we're seeing them in quite a unique situation here.
Yeah. Then they're off to the mess hall to go and see.
Oh gosh, this is where the stress begins.
Yeah.
This whole thing of like Mando having to decide to go in, like you can see him thinking, okay, I've just got to do this. And Mayfeld is not.
He's not having it.
I feel like Mayfeld started to show his like, I don't know,
cowardice.
Well, partly that, but also like he is on Mando's side for some reason. Like, I mean, he's only doing this because he's been told to do it. He doesn't seem to have.
He doesn't tend to have allegiances, does he?
Yeah, but he does stand by Mando, and he rescues him multiple times in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
Starting off with Mando. So Mando's going in. He's taking his helmet off.
Yeah.
Why is it that the Imperial scanner, like, it's scanning his face?
Yeah.
What is he not franked up somewhere?
I wondered this, but then I also had another thought about it, because I wondered if you're scanning the face, surely that's an ID check, and they'd noticed that he wasn't Imperial and it would flag.
Yeah.
But then I thought maybe it's not that. Maybe it is that they're just scanning the face to keep a record of who's asking for that information.
Well, when Boba's great line that you said, Branwen, which I had written down as well.
They recognise my face.
They're discussing who can go in, and he says that there's a scanner. The scanner it goes with an ISB database, so if you're wanted by the ISB. So you have to think there must be billions of Imperials.
Yeah.
So the scanner isn't going, are you an Imperial? Because it would take so long.
Yeah.
The scanner's just going, are you wanted by the ISB?
Yeah.
Right.
And no one's seen Mando's face for decades. So
it's true. And he probably wasn't on any records anywhere because he
was so young when he put his helmet on.
Yeah.
Either way, he gets away with it and he gets the info. But then we hear Trooper.
Yeah, and he doesn't know his TK number. Come on.
First rule of infiltrating a base: give yourself a TK number.
Yeah.
They've got all the disguise yourself thing, which is the classic Star Wars thing. Put on stormtrooper armor and get in there. Mayfeld immediately saves the day. I love that he mentions the Tanab, which I presume is the famous Battle of Tanab, which is where Lando Calrissian did some kind of maneuver. Which is why he was recommended to lead the attack on the second Death Star. A little tiny, that's such a geeky little Easter egg.
Such a nugget.
I like that he refers to them as tank troopers. I love it when stormtroopers get a slightly different designation, like scout trooper and tank trooper.
Yeah.
So he also says he's trying to talk their way out of this very tense situation. And he says they need to go and file TPS reports.
Yeah.
Which, have either of you seen Office Space?
Yes.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah.
I just love that film so much, and I've seen it way too many times. And as soon as he said that, it kind of jolted me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Wait.
Partly also because the character Samir in Office Space is a good friend of mine, the guy who plays him, Ajay, who I've been trying to get him on the pod because he's also a Star Wars fiend.
Come on, Ajay. Come and be part of our podcast.
We need you on here. We need your TPS reports and your Star Wars knowledge. But yeah, I can't look at that guy without seeing Bill Lumbergh now. Even though he's not the one that says about TPS reports, but dead funny. I mean, that could have been a Bill Burr ad-lib as far as we know, but however it got in there, I'm all for it. It's a non-Star Wars Easter egg and I love it. The guy who plays Hess, I meant to look up his name.
Question. Do we know anything about Hess, or is he just a new character for this?
New character.
I think he's just
a new character. Yeah. Okay.
His actor is very good at playing antagonizing, annoying, grating. Yeah. I've seen him in a few things.
He's watching Mando from the minute they appear at the door to the mess. Like, even before they've come in, he's watching, and you're just feeling so edgy. It's like when you're having to go somewhere that you're not sure whether you're supposed to be, like all those feelings of like, is that person watching me? You know, should I be here? He's so good at that. And the way he talks, he's so like his southern accent, and he's very slow and like intentional, as all the best villains are. But just awful. There's like these nasty rumble drones. I didn't notice loads of music in this episode, but this was one bit where I did. I need to rewatch it to hear those TIE Fighter fanfares, because like I feel that probably like did what music should really do in a film, which is it told me what to feel in a weird way, but I didn't notice it consciously. Whereas these rumbly drone things going on here.
That's unsettling.
Give me the heebie-jeebies.
Just
let's get a drink, brown eyes.
Yeah.
And Mando just looks so uncomfortable the entire time.
He just can't speak. He's me in any social situation. It's like every time I've been somewhere where there's anybody I don't know, I'm basically Pedro in this moment.
Well, clearly the solution is to shoot everyone in the room and then put a helmet back on.
Clearly.
The Operation Cinder is kind of the mic drop, I think.
Oh, gosh.
It's Mayfeld. He's sort of, at this point, he's kind of starting to antagonize Hess on purpose. Yeah. And I think we begin to realize that even though he is an ex-Imperial, he does not like the Empire.
No.
He kind of gets a bit of redemption here, doesn't he?
A big redemption.
Because
especially by the end of the episode.
Yeah, by the end of it, yeah. But he's starting it here because he's definitely like, well...
There's a couple of lines before Hess says to the Empire and he shoots him. And there's this sort of look of like, it's him agonizing over like, can I actually let him live?
Yeah.
Like he's bragging about Cinder. Like maybe Cinder was when Mayfeld walked away from the Empire. Like,
I mean, I feel like a lot of ex-Imperials at this point, even those in prison, there's a trilogy of books called The Alphabet Squadron. I think we've talked about them before on the pod, but they're about, well, one of the main characters is an ex-Imperial who was at Operation Cinder, and it turned her, it just made her realize, and I get the feeling that Mayfeld, despite all his big talk and everything, I feel like he possibly experienced that too. And the fact that they actually brought up Operation Cinder as a no, it's an awful atrocity that happened across the galaxy on multiple planets. And if you're on the front line in those situations, it's going to do something to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all kicks off.
Yeah.
So it kicks off, and here is my favourite music cue of the episode.
Ooh.
So as it kicks off, they're shooting their way out.
Yeah.
And we get this like amazing synthy stuff happening in the background.
Yeah.
And I wrote down that it's really similar. It reminded me, it's not similar, but it reminded me of that track Confusion that's in Blade. It happens to be my shower song. Yeah.
It's a great one.
Exactly. It's my shower song. If I can get in and out of the shower and brush my teeth and get ready, because it's about 8 minutes long. Yeah, exactly.
See, can I just ask what liquid you use to shower in?
The inner workings of
You do not
brain.
Want to know.
I mean, I'm pretty goth, love. Like, I'm keen.
I'm all sunshine and roses, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Apparently not in the shower.
Just keep her out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Jessica's just experienced my meeting of Kylo Ren outside the bathroom again this time.
I forgot he was there. I was washing my hands and I turned around and oh God.
If you haven't seen Seah's life-size Kylo Ren, go back in our reels on Insta and you'll find...
There's a reel of him.
At some point along this way, we get Mayfeld saying, "You did what you had to do. I never saw your face."
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Again, like a nice, okay, Mayfeld's not as bad as we thought he was necessarily.
He's on side.
Yeah.
The moment just before he shoots Hess, I don't know, I'm going to assume you've both seen Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It reminds me so much of the moment that Christoph Waltz's character, the dentist, is like, I have to shoot Leonardo DiCaprio at this point.
Yeah.
There's just this look of apology to Django, and it's the same face that Mayfeld pulls to Jin for half a second before he sees the trooper behind, and then he does this lovely little lean back in the chair, shoot across the chest.
One too.
It's great. Yeah.
Love it.
Then we're off. Escaping.
The waterfall thing gave me terrible vertigo. I'm not a good vertigo person. It was not too bad when they first went out then, but then a couple of troopers fall off and you get that kind of classic overhead shot of them falling down. It's like, oh.
There's a moment just before they get onto the waterfall where the troopers who are investigating all the shooting, one of them says, and it's through the stormtrooper vocalizer.
Oh, yeah.
And the line is delivered in the same pacing. He says, hold it right there.
Yeah.
Just like, it's a line from A New Hope. It's literally like, there's one of them, hold it right there.
Yeah.
I love that they use that same, what would it be called, where you put someone's voice through a same filter.
Same filters,
yeah. And I just love that it's obviously a different actor delivering the line, but it's just like, oh, I know that line. I know that voice.
There's a few of them in the next episode as well.
Yes, I've got them written down.
And we were talking about it in the episode where they take out the base on Navarro as well. It's if you play the Star Wars first-person sort of shooting games like Jedi or Fallen Order and so on, they're all in there. And they just keep reusing them.
The same ones.
Even when stormtroopers are having just casual conversations, not in combat, they've still got some of the same lines. Like, it's a very typical thing that stormtroopers, they've obviously been conditioned to only use...
To only talk in a very specific way.
In those particular phrases.
Yeah.
We get a genius rescue by Boba, which was kind of set up at the beginning. He swoops in. Mayfeld has that amazing retributional moment of blowing with the sniper rifle. It was sort of a spontaneous decision. I think he just sort of like grabs the rifle. And...
You're not having it. Well, it's in response to Hess saying the amount of rhydonium we've got, we can cause so much more havoc. So he's like, absolutely not, you having it.
And then when Fett is flying off, we get the seismic charge.
The return of the seismic charge. We all love
Honestly,
it.
when I signed up for these 2 episodes to come and do the podcast, I completely forgot what episode 7 was. I was like, oh yeah, episode 8, I need to be there. And then I started watching the episode the last week, and I was like, yo,
this is
Imperial prequel. And then I completely forgot till I saw Fett press the button, and then you see it loading, and I was like,
here we go.
Oh, it's going to make that noise. It's so cool.
So amazing.
One of the best weapons in all of Star Wars.
100%. It's undeniably the best sound design as well. Like it they've got a long way to go to the top.
Sounds just as good in atmosphere as it does an outer atmosphere.
Cara and Mando talking to him, I loved that. I just loved it.
Not quite sure
Mando immediately picks up on it. He's like, what? Really? Is this what's happening?
Their line is just delivered perfectly. You know, it's too bad Mayfield didn't make it out alive back there. Whilst not looking at him like I'm gritting my teeth, but you did the right thing. Walk away. And like you say, Mando is straight on it, like, shame.
Shame. Off you go.
Slave One takes off and we get a circle wipe, which is a kind of classic.
Yes, classic-y.
Star Wars thing. And this little epilogue with Elia Kane again, who I love her character. She's amazing.
Is that Katie O'Brien?
Yes, the
actress,
the hollow, like the communications officer.
She's incredible. One of my favourite actresses in so many good things. Absolutely phenomenal.
I was so glad to see her have more of a part, like, because she only had a very tiny part the first time we see her, and each time we see her, it gets a bit more and a bit more, and then we get that whole episode in season 3, which I'm so looking forward to.
Spoilers, spoilers.
It's all right. We're not there.
And we get Mando's hollow call, which is like, it's almost like Mando's just watched the Taken movie series. He's like, he means more to me than he will be back with me soon. It's like you're channeling some Liam there.
Yeah, but it's a direct quote from what Moff Gideon said to him in the last episode of season 1.
It's word for word, pretty much.
Yeah.
Of course.
But obviously the meaning is now completely subverted.
Opposite.
Yeah. Did you two notice, I know you've mentioned before the beautiful concept art in the credits.
Yeah.
Did you notice how different the plot must have been when they did that concept art for this episode?
No, I wasn't paying enough attention this time round.
Mando is in his armor when they hijack the Juggernaut. There's a shot of Bilba in the Imperial armor helping him in. And there's another shot that's amazing that's inside the base. It's Fennec and Cara back to back firing their rifles with Imperials all around. And it's like they must have decided this was going to go different. Yeah, it's really interesting.
And then changed it. Oh.
They might have been saving that, knowing that they're going to have that in episode 8.
The next episode, yeah.
Oh, I know I didn't notice that. I need to pay more attention to those. I think I sort of like the first time round, I soaked them up so much because I loved them. But then on rewatches, I've not paid so much attention, which is very, very bad.
I also don't pay enough attention to those. I go, right, come on, next episode.
You also skip the recaps, though.
I do skip the recaps, I know. I get told off for that.
Which is very naughty of you.
Yeah, but I the first time I watched this was 2 weeks ago, so, you know.
No, you don't have to skip the recaps. The only reason I don't is because sometimes they show something from ages ago that I've forgotten. Yeah, it's like, oh, right, that's what we're going to be doing. It sort of sets you up for what the episode is going to be and helps you to kind of pay attention. Like, when things happen, it's, I don't know, you feel like you're more in the zone already kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the further a show goes on, the more those recaps are useful.
Yeah.
By season 3 of Mando and they're mentioning brief moments from season 1 in the recap, it's like, oh.
Yeah, then you're really like, I need that. Yeah. Well, when I get there.
Okay. We will be soon.
I'll stop skipping the recap.
4 more episodes of this to go. 4 more weeks and we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Chapter 16, The Rescue.
Oh my God, it's on.
Directed by Peyton Reed. Did he direct one earlier in this season? I can't remember. I feel like he did.
Name sounds familiar.
Name does sound familiar.
Yeah. He's not somebody I'm super familiar with, but he does a pretty awesome job of directing this, I feel.
This one, yeah.
Especially all the action stuff, the combat and stuff is amazing.
There is a lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't stop.
It's pretty much non-stop. It's all one thing.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the bit at the beginning where they have to go and do their last bit of recruiting.
Yes.
Which I kind of love.
Yeah, I do.
Like, there's a whole element to that. Like, the ion cannon and how surprised they are when they get shot with it. Even though that's a weapon we've seen used a lot.
Yeah.
Like, but normally in much bigger, like, boob gun form on Hot.
Yeah. Boob gun. I like it.
Well, they look like very big boobs with a cannon coming out. And I love that the pilot, the guy who executes the co-pilot and holds Dr. Pershing hostage, he's a true believer.
God.
He is really into the Empire. I do wonder how he got off the Death Star between Alderaan and Yavin.
Yeah, quite.
Like, was there just like shore leave arranged on the way that he went and got?
Maybe.
Like,
I mean, they often had like little TIE fighters squadrons flying around.
Flying off.
I mean, when the Falcon first arrives, there's that like fighter that appears that they follow to the Death Star.
Yeah.
So every chance you could have been sent out on a mission. As a pilot, you can be called up at any moment.
He might have been like, flying around trying to fight rebels and then be like, oh, the base is gone.
Maybe he was in the Death Star trench. You know, he might have been in the trench run, like one of Vader's.
I think everybody died in the trench run who wasn't Luke and
apart from
Vader's TIE X-1. I think so.
He learns very quickly not to bait Cara, though.
Yeah. I mean, he says some awful stuff, like destroying your planet was a small price to pay to rid the galaxy of terrorism. Like,
wild.
That's awful. He confirms, I think we already knew this. He says this is a clone engineer when he's talking about Pershing.
Yes.
Which I think we already kind of knew. But again, it's like every time we get a little confirmation about this whole cloning backstory, which is obviously really important to the whole of Star Wars. I meant to mention Slave One's blasters at the beginning when they're sort of chasing the shuttle. Such an amazing sound. I mean, we've heard them before, but I think there's something about the proximity of this, I don't know, and his targeting computer as well. The sound design of that is all very edgy and like slightly distorted, very top-endy, which kind of suits Boba, I feel. I don't know.
Great, we love it.
I love how increasingly through this first sequence we find out how Pershing is not a believer. Like he's doing his job. I mean, he's one of those classic, like he's a scientist, but we never really find out where his loyalties truly lie.
What he's up to.
Yeah, he's a very interesting character in that way. There's a big orchestral version of the Mando theme in the credits at the beginning. It's like the biggest version yet, with everything is playing in octaves, playing the main tune. It's just massive sounding.
Massive.
Which sort of cues us into like, this is a big episode. And little
Here
did we know how big of an episode this was the first time around. No idea whatsoever. The best kept secret in Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely.
So Slave One lands on Lafette, I think you pronounce it, which I've never heard of. It's a little planet with a bit of industrial stuff going on. Not much.
And we head into yet another cantina.
Yeah.
Another cantina.
Everybody just lives in bars in Star Wars. Like
they do, don't they?
Only on the rewatch did I notice Bo's starfighter parked outside the Gauntlet starfighter, which is the big with the kind of swivel up wings, which you see a lot of in Clone Wars and Rebels, but I didn't notice it, I have to admit, until this watch, and I was like, there it is.
I like when they leave and the Lambda shuttle's parked there as well, the contrast between the two, because they both got the swing up wings. Mando, obviously they rotate in the Z axis and the Lambdas rotate in the X, and like it's just really interesting, the contrast of the two upward facing wings.
Amazing design in both departments. Nice. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff about Mando's. Again, as soon as Bo-Katan comes on screen, it's like, you know, you're going to get some little bits of lore. Yeah. She says something about not all Mandalorians are bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Some of us have a higher purpose, I think she says, which...
Yes, she does.
Here's season 3.
I love Fett and Koska's little confrontation.
Oh, so good.
Little sidekick brawl that had your line, Seah, which I did have written down.
So good.
It's initially like a banter brawl, and then it turns into an actual physical brawl.
Physical one, yeah.
I like that their flamethrowers cancel each other out. It's quite like...
Yeah.
Koska does not mess about. She is quite serious.
No.
I think she's like beating Boba, and Boba's no easy opponent.
I mean, he's past his prime.
Maybe. Yeah. She's obviously like right in hers. Just like,
Yeah.
I found it interesting when Bo-Katan mentions, like, oh, don't you mean your donor?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
like, obviously, Django must have been known of. Boba is known of to some degree, but is it not known that Boba isn't, he's a pure clone? He's not
he's an unaltered.
Yeah. I was almost like, does she not know who he is?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, you're just a clone wearing Mando armor.
I think she does know who he is. I don't know if she comes in contact with him in the Clone Wars, possibly at some point, because there's a bit.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, it's on schedule.
We'll have to dig through.
Even though he's an unaltered clone, he's still a clone. You know, he's still.
Yeah.
She's still right in terms of the donor thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a naturally birthed child of Django. He's been created.
Yeah. But he was also raised by Django. So.
Yeah. I feel like within the Mandalorians across the board, there's skepticism about Boba for whatever reason, and Django. I think they resented them doing whatever they did. You know, the whole bounty hunter thing. She obviously made that dig about bounty hunters earlier on. I don't know how many Mandos have been bounty hunters other than Din and Django and Boba.
Can't think of any others.
Not sure. We haven't seen any. So and I feel it's not a very Mandalorian-ish.
It's not very honourable, is it?
No, although like the armourer doesn't seem to care, but
no, she's pretty chill about it.
But that's for the good of the cult. I mean, the covert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's bringing back the bacon, for the foundlings. We do get a bit about the Darksaber that it won't cut through Beskar.
No.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadow.
We're going to find that out.
I like how this scene when he first says he's looking for Moff Gideon, and she's like, oh, you won't find him. And then he's like, oh, well, we know where he is. It's almost the start of her believing, because she's like, oh, I could get the saber, and then there's only like a few steps till I get what I really want.
Yeah, exactly. And this conversation really tells us everything we need to know for season 3. It's setting up that big story of, spoiler alerts here, of like Bo-Katan and what her needs are, what her like motivation is generally in life. And it feels like she and Koska just sitting in this random diner on a random industrial planet somewhere, probably in the Outer Rim. She's not actually doing much about it, but she just needed a little bit of a prod, and this prospect of capturing a cruiser that might actually be useful in her kind of, background task that she's got in mind, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
When they're talking about the plan, I think they're back on a ship at this point. I'm not sure.
Plan time.
Yeah, they're on the Lambda.
Katie Sackhoff does an amazing job of looking at a hologram. Like, I see so many actors, because obviously holograms are going to be a CGI thing, and the actor's got to look at it and maybe put their hand in it, like Robert Downey Jr. when he's playing Iron Man in the Marvel movies, and he's like using Jarvis in, I think it's in Age of Ultron or something, and like they obviously have to do a lot of work of like looking at and interacting with holograms.
Yeah.
But just watch that scene again. She just does such a good job. Like, her eyes are focused in the right place, because you'd think you wouldn't really notice, but you kind of do when it's not right.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a tiny little actory thing.
Thing. Yeah. I like it.
We got Pershing like spilling his guts. He definitely does not. He's definitely not a believer. He's just telling them everything they need to know. He tells them all about the Dark Troopers, that they're not people anymore, that they tried a few times, but version 3, which is
the weak point, was the human. Yeah.
To get them out and like make them just droids. Yeah.
Which has gone full circle, because in the Clone Wars, Palpatine was seeing which is better, clones or droids. And okay, I'll use the clones, they're better. And we've now gone full circle to put in a droid inside a clone's armor. Quite interesting.
Yeah. Or even more so, droids to clones to non-clone, like people.
To humans.
Not that clones aren't people, but you know what I mean. Non-clones. And then back to droids. And he tells them they take a few minutes to power up, which I find hilarious. But also,
they're an energy drain. They take a few minutes to power up.
They're just like my laptop. And he shows them where they are. He's just like,
He's desperate. He's like, how much more can I help?
Yeah.
Doesn't really do him any good in the long run, but hey,
no.
Maybe it does a little bit. Cara drops the Peli motto line, those Dark Troopers are going to be a real skank in the scud pie.
Yes.
And I looked up scud pie on Wikipedia and it just said, a scud pie is a type of pie. It doesn't really tell you anything
good.
else.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Cheers.
I could never have figured that out. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia, for doing that. We've also got the plan as they're going through the plan, and then they're ready. And Boba's got another one of my other favourite lines, which was, power up those shields, princess. I'll put on a good show.
I love the hyperspace pursuit. I love them both being in the same lane so that they can pop out together. Yeah. Like, I bet Vader wished he was able to do that in Rogue One. Like, damn it.
Get in there quick. I mean, I think technically he could have, because they do it a lot in Rebels, and don't know if I've seen it in Clone Wars, but definitely Rebels they do it. And there's all sorts of other stuff with beings that live in that move in hyperspace. Anyway, that's.
I think it's about how quickly you enter the lane behind the other one, isn't it? As to whether you'd still perceive them in hyperspace. Yeah, it's great.
So I think it happens in Star Trek in like warp. They can do it.
There's one of the JJ ones. There was an Enterprise that could catch up with the other Enterprise in warp and shoot it in the warp, which a lot of purists did not like.
No, I mean, it is the whole hyperspace / warp science is all very theoretical, I guess.
Fett calls it jump space. He says we're about to drop out of jump space, which I found really interesting.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't notice that one.
Which makes sense. When they talk about hyper jumps, they use the words fairly interchangeably, but it's like, I wonder if that's a Djangoism that he's picked up. Maybe that's something how it used to be referred to. I don't know.
Yeah. It's another instance of our like two words for the same thing.
Two words for the same thing.
Keeping tally of that,
We're going to publish them all one day. All the multiple name things.
We'll be doing analysis watches of the podcasts to then note down every time.
We're going to break down this podcast episode.
Oh my God, that's getting far too meta. Dear. Jessica, lean back for me.
Well, I was going to stand up at the right moment, but I'm going to do it now.
For those of you who can't see, which is everybody listening, Jessica's wearing an amazing Sisters of the Force top, which I'm so here for.
Yeah, it's very nice, very comfortable.
I think that's the first and only Sisters of the Force tank top that you are unique. While we're in hyperspace, we get like this contrast between the Slave One hyperdrive, which is kind of quite gritty sounding. It's almost like a motorbike or something, very like edgy, just like the rest of the sound design for Slave One, with the really, really smooth Lambda class shuttle, which has this just like hyperspace. It's really beautiful.
Well, those shuttles are really good for flying casual.
Oh dear.
I just can't stop, I'm sorry.
This is why we have you on here.
Yeah. It wears off after a while, the fun.
Never.
No, it doesn't.
We get brilliant tension music when they drop out of hyperspace. Like we're now into the episode proper. Elia Kane is deploying fighters. Obviously, her role as comm officer means you're in control.
She also deploys the TIE fighters.
Yeah. Gideon's theme, which we've mentioned previously, of like this kind of distorted 808 bass drum thing.
Yeah.
It's now fully orchestrated.
Yes.
Like, all sorts of low instruments are playing it as they launch the TIE fighters.
I did say that's got the sound design of the TIE fighters, which obviously is cool, but now like the score underneath is also massive and very cool.
I'm loving Gideon's theme. It's really down, down, down.
Yeah. There's also move in, blast them very soon after that, as soon as they get out.
Over there, blast them. Freeze, drop your weapons. Yeah, they're both in there and it's brilliant.
The deck officers really panic just before they come in. Yes. Like they're coming in hot in the shuttle, and he's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, panic. He does not know what to do.
The shuttle landing reminded me of a few moments when Starbug landed particularly badly in Red Dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way it clangs off the walls. I was like, oh.
Yeah. We've seen this.
Gideon's not messing about. As soon as he sees them, like we've got this team of absolute badass women Just like it's the best. I've never seen such an awesome ensemble of like warriors. And Gideon's like, activate the Dark Troopers. He's not messing about. And this is my favorite musical cue at this point, which is not even really, I don't know, it's debatable whether it's a musical cue. You just get this like cluster of strings, all dissonant. The composer or Ludwig or the arranger or whoever just told the strings, all play whatever note you want, all like in between notes. Same time. It's just terrifying. We hear it again a bit later on, but this is the first time we hear it.
Yeah. Is this the noise as they're powering up?
Yeah.
Because to me, I've written down Dark Troopers activate to dubstep.
Dubstep, yeah. That is, they are dubstep troopers.
It kind of evolves into
There's a pair of producers called Excision and Downlink who me and my friends used to talk about how they made dubstep that sounded like robots either fighting or beat me. And
beat me.
It's like that. It's like they've channeled that type of dubstep, which makes so much sense because it's fighty robots powering up. It's great. And like you say, it comes back when they reboard and when they're marching to the bridge and when they face Luke outside the bridge. There's elements of it there too, and I loved it.
Dubstep troopers.
There's so many different blaster noises as well in this episode. When the girls are going through fighting, there's like a point blank one that's so loud. I was like, I know that blaster noise from this. Only used it once, and I was like, I don't know where I know it from, but really love it.
So much fun.
And we get the Imperial siren.
Only inside the Dark Troopers chamber. Where they're stored.
It's not actually going off anywhere else.
Which is really weird. Like maybe they need it to hype them up, you know. To get those droids.
The Dark Troopers.
They need their dubstep. They need their dissonant strings.
Cluster
and they need
strings.
The Imperial siren.
There's a little move that they both do where when they get confronted by the stormtroopers and Bo-Katan and Koska jump off the bridge. And then when the stormtroopers come in behind, they're like, aha, we were here all along. Bang, bang, bang. And it's brilliant.
It's so good. It's like a Night Owl special.
Yeah.
When we cut back to Mando and he's making his way, he's a bit like the Obi-Wan, you know, creeping through the Death Star sort of thing. The music is just solo recorders playing his theme. It's like the absolute contrast of everything else about this episode, which is all throw everything at it. Like the entire orchestra and dubstep. But when it's Mando, it's just solo flute, which is reflecting his stealth mission that he's on.
His stuff,
which is very different from the women who are like all out, like you say, all different blasters.
I just wrote down Girl Squad. That's all I had as a note for that. I've written it several times.
Kara's gun jamming, and she's like, Dank Ferrick, son of a mudscuffer, and then she just starts using it as an axe.
And this is one of I have two annoyances in this episode.
Okay.
And this is one, because that is how you ruin a gun.
Yeah.
Don't it's a delicate item. Don't start using it like a club. No wonder it breaks on her all the time. It's like,
if that's how she's going to play.
Like,
we do know in Star Wars that you have to hit things, though, to get them to work. I mean, Han Solo with the Millennium Falcon.
Ship consoles, maybe. I'm not seeing anyone get, like, this is the first time I've seen a gun come back to life from being banged against the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not into it. As someone who's like, I've been around firearms before, and I know about firearm discipline, and that's not what you do.
That's not what you do. Yeah. She is a bit of a firebrand, though. She doesn't mess about.
Did you notice that Din's stealth mission only succeeds because stormtrooper helmets have terrible peripheral vision?
Yes.
He hides behind these pipes, and it's like, they would see, oh no, they can't see a thing past here. Like, they've got their little diamonds.
He meets his match with one dark trooper. That's kind of enough.
The moment it opens the door and you get the eyes, it's so menacing.
Brutal, and like it's just punching him again and again and again.
Yeah, so hard that he's going into the wall.
His head is going into the wall.
But his whistling birds have been restocked.
Yeah,
you mentioned this before about how many there are.
How many
they've been restocked at this point.
I think this is the third lot. Yeah.
Although Gideon does say, you fired your one and only salvo later, as if he's clued in on, you can't carry infinite whistling
They're all
birds.
very well, these things, but the only thing that saves him, of course, is the spear, which we knew it would be key weapon in this attack.
Can't cut through Beskar.
Straight into the neck of a dark trooper. Yeah.
The spear is the other thing that I have a slight annoyance about. Do you know, I'm assuming with your extensive sound experience, that you know of the term audible sharpness?
Mm-hmm.
You know how when a sword is unsheathed in a movie, it makes a shling noise?
Noise,
so if you've been around swords, that doesn't happen because you don't have a scabbard made of metal because that would blunt the sword. But this is a trope that has developed in cinema because when they have tried to have films without that
just
noise,
the normal,
audiences don't like it. Yeah. They need to hear the noise of the sword in the air.
How sharp it is.
So it's labeled audible sharpness, which I find so funny. Cool. It's like, and his spear does it when he puts it back under his overalls, which again, I'm like, there's no Beskar there, unless you've accidentally stabbed your jetpack. Like,
that's not the thing.
And it only grates on me because I know it's not real. It's added.
Seah, are you having flashbacks?
I'm having flashbacks. We have a whole folder of swords.
Audio sharpness. Which we didn't know was called audio sharpness, but now we do.
I only learnt that at uni.
Did you? I didn't know it, so I'm
very
happy to learn a new audio sound. Thank you, Jessika.
I've got that folder somewhere. We've got a whole folder that's just, we were just playing with different metal sounds, trying to make swords, knives.
Those sounds, things, we were making a horror film that has a bit about cutting in it, and we were making the theme tune to the film, and we wanted like percussive samples to use in the theme tune.
The song came first, didn't it? Didn't we make the video?
Yeah, we made. We wrote the song at the same time as I was writing the film.
Okay.
So it was all like a combined project. It was like a music video, short film
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just raided the shed. Your dad was quite bemused by the whole thing, I think.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're just in the shed with all these microphones. He just left us alone.
Having said all of this, and I do take your point about the kind of inaccuracy of audio sharpness, I do love the sound design. I guess it's when Mando's fighting Gideon in a bit. And it's like Darksaber on Beskar.
Yeah,
I think we got the same kind of sounds in Ahsoka versus Elspeth back in the Jedi episode, but it's this kind of like high-pitched ring that's got a kind of weird body to it that the Beskar makes. But then we've also got the Darksaber, which has a very unique sound design.
And it's different from the lightsaber as well.
Yeah, I bought one of those lightsabers that you can get that does all the different colours and that, and it does a Darksaber mode, and they've got the sound effect of the Darksaber on the little chip on it, and it's such a unique thing. It's almost sings. It's got like a kind of high-pitched...
It's very crackly as well.
Super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're jumping ahead a little bit there.
We are, but that's okay.
My only notes in between there are that they tease us with almost a Wilhelm from one of the bridge stormtroopers.
Yeah, I have.
It's so close, and I was like,
it's so close.
Tease.
It's not one of the outtake.
No,
Wilhelms.
I think it's them imitating it again. I think they're just doing imitation ones. Yeah.
We're falling off the Wilhelm. We need more Wilhelms. I'm sure we'll get some in the Clone Wars.
There's lots in Clone Wars.
I guess this is it. Yeah, we are back in the scene where Mando faces Gideon, and Gideon says something about them being the murderous savages that they are.
As if the Empire doesn't murder everyone.
Yeah.
The pot calling the kettle black. Or
he also says, what's the line?
Quick. The quactor calling the stiffling slimy.
That's exactly what's going on there.
He also says, a friendly piece of advice, assume I know everything. Which I also quite liked as a line. Like, all right, go on.
Which is proved wrong by the end of the episode.
Pretty much. His overconfidence is his
he
weakness.
massively messes up here, because as we've seen over these two episodes, Mando only cares about Grogu. And he makes a deal with Gideon to take Grogu and leave.
Yeah.
And then Gideon can't deal with it. He's like, you know what, I'm going to chop him up. And it's like, you just messed up massively.
Yeah.
So
because if you'd have let him go, like...
You've got what you needed.
Yeah.
You got what you needed,
He would have left you alone.
If he was being honest about that, I mean, maybe he was trying to bait Mando.
Almost certainly, but it still seems like a slip-up on his part.
Yeah.
Well, my note for that section was, Moff be bluffing, and then Beskar bitch. So you can interpret that how you will.
I think that sums it up.
There's a lovely moment when he's pushing the spear back and the Darksaber's putting into the wall, and whoever's in the suit, I don't know if it's Pedro at that moment, but whoever's in the suit manages to convey the panic of, oh God, I've never fought a saber. He flicks his head side to side so quick, looking at Gideon, looking at the saber as if like, how do I even fight this thing?
Yeah.
And then he calms after that. He gets knocked down and he can't, and he that's when he disarms him.
Yeah.
And he has to just separate this device, almost superheating my spear.
Yeah.
And pushing me back.
Yeah, it is, because you can see the Beskar
glowing.
The Beskar goes orange, which is like anything else would have been cut into pieces. So it's pretty incredible.
I just read my next note. I'm sorry. I don't even know what that means. I think it's something about a music cue. But it might be those strings we were talking about. No, it's not quite them. But I said we're back to the widdly woos.
That'll be the flute, surely.
The widdly woos. I don't know what it's not that widdly woo. It's a different widdly woo.
Okay.
And now we get to this like big finale on the bridge, which is a pretty spectacular finale, if ever there was one. Apart from the fact that, they've taken the bridge, Mando's bringing Gideon in as his prisoner kind of thing. We get all this stuff about the Darksaber. Bo, like, immediately is hyper alert.
Yeah, she looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Katie Sackhoff does a wonderful non-verbal performance in those couple of seconds of her face just being like trapped by tradition and honor and so angry, but so like, what can I do about this right now?
It really took me back to the scene in Rebels when obviously it's a similar thing where Sabine presents her with the Darksaber, and although it's a different situation and it has a different result, she takes it, but there's a similar look in her eye that was in the animated version of Bo-Katan, which fair play to Katie Sackhoff. She is absolutely incredible in this whole live action Bo-Katan thing. It's amazing.
I have a question, because I have a moment where I was like, did Mando forget that Dark Troopers can fly? Because they stole his son, and then you found out they're droids, so space isn't going to kill them, and they've got jetpacks.
Well, it got rid of them for a time, didn't it?
Yeah.
Could have just closed that hangar bay field. Like, there must be a way to close that. It's an Imperial ship. There'll be a blast door, and then they'd have been knocking on the outside. Like, fine.
That's true.
Or do a jump, just jump, like on the bridge.
Like
they're on the
20
bridge.
feet.
Yeah. They've got control of the ship. They could have just come to any system.
Pop 2 planets over, fine.
Yeah. And there'd then be this sort of like random tribe of Dark Troopers just floating around in space forever until some unwitting...
Until they power down.
Yeah. I'm all for them.
Yeah.
Gideon drops an amazing line about the Darksaber. He says, the Darksaber doesn't have power, the story does.
Story does, yeah.
That's so much about Mandalorians, as we know, because of all the different sects of Mandalorian that we have, and that they all believe slightly different things, and some of them believe the same thing, and it's all about, they're very devoted to their own kind of mythology almost, their own dogma, which must be a real moment for Bo-Katan, because she's already detached from like the Children of the Watch, who are the cult, if we want to call them that. She's part of a slightly more relaxed sect of Mandalorians. They're slightly less culty, but hearing that line and knowing that she is part of that kind of Darksaber story must be pretty big.
Yes.
We've referenced this before, how the Imperial tech is, well, everybody's tech in Star Wars it's kind of like this weird like juxtaposition between, they've got these super high-tech Dark Trooper droids that are incredible, and yet the little monitors on the bridge are in black and white, really, and it's like fuzzy black and white, and the sound of the siren that comes out of the control is like really low quality, like low sample rate, like you can hear the aliasing of the siren, and I mean I just love that as a design thing of like, when they go low tech, they really go in deep with the sound and the visual side of it. The troopers obviously re-enter and they're making their way to the bridge, which is coming. The first time round, I did not know how they were going to get out of this.
How are you going to get out of this? Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to get out of it. Is this when I started frantically texting you on my first watch through?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, Gideon's going out of his mind. He's so excited by all of this. And we get the dissonant orchestra sounds again. We get the dubstep again.
Yeah.
But then we get the siren again. And very quickly, we see an X-Wing fly by.
We get Kara's amazing line.
Yeah.
One X-Wing? Great, we're saved.
We're saved.
But then we get Gideon's face.
And all of our faces.
Well, I didn't start twigging because I thought it was New Republic X-Wing.
Well, this is it.
I didn't start thinking of it until Gideon's face started changing. It wasn't Cara's line, it wasn't the X-Wing, it was Gideon starting to look panicked. And then I've written here, can Dark Troopers detect Force users?
Yeah, because they sort of panic, don't they?
Because they all know. They're like, whoa, this is more of a problem than what's behind that door.
I don't know how that happens, but that absolutely does happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think my clue was Grogu, because there's some very specific shots of Grogu like making noises and he is sensing something.
Yeah.
My first thought was Ezra. Like, I did not for a million years think it was going to be Luke, because Ezra is one of the only other Jedi out there that we know of. We don't know where he is at this point. We do now, but we didn't then. And I could see him having an X-Wing. Like, I just couldn't cross that bridge to thinking Luke, you know? Even when we saw a hooded figure walking through the corridors, like, I mean, okay, once the lightsaber was ignited.
Yeah, once it's green, it's like, okay, we know for sure.
That's the confirmation. But up until that point, I mean, I was literally standing up in our living room at that point. Probably screaming.
I was jumping up and down, very excited.
It's the wildest moment. Now, Seah, I know you texted me something which I don't hear many Star Wars fans saying. I have listened to my favourite Star Wars podcast, Children of the Watch. Yeah. Matt Lacey on there. He has possibly a similar response to you.
Response. Okay.
They're now doing a rewatch, like, because they obviously watched it at the time. But all these years later, they're doing a rewatch, and he's calmed down a bit on his anti-Luke. His philosophy was he felt it cheapened the efforts of the team, you know, like
interesting.
They needed rescuing. I mean, I counter that by the fact that the episode title is The Rescue, which you know, there's multiple things.
There's multiple rescues in this.
Their plan to get Grogu back, but also Luke rescuing them.
Yeah.
My other counter for him, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead because I don't know what your issue was. Well, Ted, what was your response? Because I had a text from you that was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Not sure about this. Okay. All right, I'll tell you. Potentially controversial opinion. I don't like it.
This is fine. Controversy is what we're here for.
Controversy. I didn't like it because my notes this time, because obviously this time I watched it, when I watched it this morning, rewatch. I knew it's a rewatch for me. But the first time I watched it, I was a bit like, that's a lot of like, he's just come and taken out an entire platoon. My notes this time were lightsaber trumps dubstep, but that's it's just fine. Clearly.
So you weren't like convinced that he could so efficiently just take out all of those.
Well, it was the efficiency that he took them all out with, and I didn't really like him being there. I thought like
it's kind of like.
I just didn't want him back. I was a bit like, I'm not sure I want him back. But it was also the kind of weird effects of his face freaked me out a bit. And I think all of that was playing in to my kind of being a bit uncomfortable about the whole thing.
Him turning up at the very end and saving the day, that's like a Star Wars trope, isn't it, though?
It is a Star Wars trope.
Whether it's Vader flipping sides or everyone's ships turning up in Rise of Skywalker, like we're at the final moment, the goodies look absolutely screwed. Oh, look, here's a big damn heroes moment, to quote Firefly.
There's a couple of thoughts I had about like the fact of this kind of person turning up out of nowhere. We know why he came. Like
we know why he came. He came for Grogu
a couple of episode ago. Yeah. But I feel like as
Grogu rang him.
On the Jedi phone. That big thing's a Jedi interplanetary phone.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been left behind. I need a babysitter. That's what.
I think it's needed to remind us how powerful the Jedi are.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we've not really seen for a while, and even like with the sequel trilogy, we've not had like very good Jedi. We've had like Ben Solo versus Rey was pretty good in The Rise of Skywalker, but even they're quite early on in their journeys, you know, using in lightsaber dueling and stuff and using the Force. We haven't seen like powerful Jedi since the prequels in a way. So outside of the animation space, of course. But so it's kind of that, and it's important for Mando in the story ahead as to like why Grogu should go and do that, and like his commitment to delivering Grogu, nearly said Yoda, delivering Grogu to the Jedi. And as far as the CGI face thing, I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
For a while, I was saying, we need recast. Why have we not got Sebastian Stan or somebody else?
Yeah, right.
We should just have someone. But last time I watched this last night, I've seen this episode about 4 or 5 times now. This time, while I was making notes, I was like, okay, no, we did need to see Mark Hamill at this point. Like, going forward, by all means, let's recast. But because we're in TV series world, we're in Disney, this is a whole new kind of era for us in this kind of post-Return of the Jedi, whatever, like building towards the sequels. I'm kind of glad we got to see Mark Hamill's voice. It was very Uncanny Valley. For me, it wasn't even as good as like Tarkin and Leia.
Oh no, I found Tarkin way creepier in Rogue One.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, I find Tarkin creepy anyway, so maybe just like it just added to it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there wasn't as much with Luke. Like we didn't. He was very still. He didn't do very much, and I've kind of liked the voice. The voice was quite good.
Tell you who I was excited to see. R2.
Yeah, I wrote that. I wrote
lovely.
R2 D2.
Yeah, his little lean in and he chats to Grogu. I've written maybe the translation is, "Yo, little dude, I've not seen you since the Jedi Temple. How's it been?" Yes, we know R2 knows everything, and like he was around. He was Anakin's droid. Grogu was there.
This is very true. However, I'm still pondering because we still don't know Grogu's full story, and I don't know whether he was a secret at the temple because Ahsoka didn't know him.
No, that's true.
Nobody seems to have yet known Grogu. We'll find out. I'm sure we're going to find out.
Ahsoka was barely at the temple. Like she was when she was a lot younger, but then she'd been almost semi-disgraced. I'm not Clone Wars knowledge, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But Anakin took her on because she'd been a bit disgraced. Wasn't that right?
Yeah, she was already like 14 or something at that point.
Okay.
I think so. She would have been there for quite a few years training. Whether Grogu, because Grogu would have been there.
Yeah, because Grogu's 50
I was
years
trying to do the maths, but you'd have only been quite young. So
he's about Anakin's age because the whole Force dyad thing.
Yeah. So he would have been around.
Yeah.
My other reason for thinking this about Grogu and the Jedi Temple is that with the sort of mythos around Yoda and his species, like nobody mentions the name of the species ever.
No,
Yoda is held in this like he's a very specific character, and I could see that if the Jedi Council had another kid of that race, they might very well keep him secret.
Yeah,
as a sort of like we're going to try, like, because otherwise he'd be a big threat to all sorts of things. Maybe, I don't know. It's just I've just been like pondering Grogu and like his existence, and why nobody seems to know about him. Even
well, could he have been a secret because maybe Yoda and Yaddle had a Padme and Anakin?
There could be that.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we were talking about Yaddle in the Ahsoka episode.
Yes.
Because Ahsoka said something about, I've only ever known one other of his kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, Yaddle worked with Ahsoka. I'm sure in Tales of the Jedi, we see Ahsoka as a child being trained by Yaddle.
I'm pretty sure.
So that's a plot hole.
So is Yaddle the same race? Has that ever been confirmed?
I looked back because the reason we were talking about it was that when I looked up Grogu on Wikipedia, it said that there was only one other unknown species, only one other, which is Yoda.
Yeah.
And then you told me about Yaddle, and then I went and looked at Yaddle's Wikipedia page, and it said same species as Yoda. So
do you remember your mom? Do you just remember her smile and sadness?
For those who can't see, again, which is everybody, Jessica's just having
chatting
a
to
little
Grogu.
chat with Grogu.
His answer was inconsistent. I'm sorry. It was just gurgles and noises.
Did Grogu write the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, I think so. Grogu's taken over, like he's infiltrated the fandom on every level.
Right.
Talking of Grogu, getting back into this episode, we get Grogu's theme, which I've been referring to. I didn't know it was called Grogu's theme until this episode, and I kind of realised it's Grogu's theme. I mentioned it in the Frog Lady episode when Grogu's looking at the eggs. and it's this Lydian tune that's very kind of like atmospheric, dreamy synths. And then we heard it again a couple of episodes ago, I think in the Ahsoka one. And now we get it again when Din takes off his helmet.
Yeah.
And I have searched for it, and I think it is called Grogu's theme.
It is called Grogu's theme.
Beautiful. It's Lydian, which is one of my favourite modes. It's a lovely scale.
And it's such a beautiful moment when you think about the fact that probably no one's touched Mando's face since he was a child.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
And they use the puppet so well. Actually, that allows me to talk about, because I wanted to speak about the animatronics, because I've heard you mention on other podcasts about Grogu. So he is a $5 million animatronic puppet.
Oh my god!
Using some of the tech that Disney developed for Tiny Groot.
Yeah.
Two puppeteers operate him. One does his eyes and mouth, and the other does all the other facial elements, so the ears, the wrinkling. And when he walks, and sometimes to have him less prominent in a scene, there is some CGI used.
Yeah.
They were planning to use a lot more at the start. They had the puppet, but they were planning to use a lot more CGI. And it was actually Werner who called them out. There was a moment he was acting opposite Grogu, and they went to take the expensive puppet away. And he said, and I have the quote, "Leave the puppet. You are cowards for wanting to remove it. Star Wars pioneered this art, and that should be honoured. Leave him. Don't be a coward." And I love that Werner just was like, sort it out.
I could not love him anymore. Like I thought just having him in Star Wars was enough, but to know that
he said, look, and he's right. Yeah. You go back to the original trilogy, and it was groundbreaking with puppetry.
Puppets.
I mean, we were talking about the kids in the Sanctuary episode with the kids on the kind of fishing planet, and their reactions were just kids reacting to an amazing puppet. Like, how could they have done that with CGI? It's just incredible.
Yeah.
His voice as well, I looked this up as well. Grogu's voice is made up of two different infants' voices, and it's mixed with two animals. One is a kinkajou, which is a very strange tree-based mammal that looks a bit like if a bear and a cat had an illicit tryst.
Must be the babbling then.
And the other is a bat-eared fox, which is a very specific type of fox with some like whistly and chirpy sort of vocalizations. And originally he had way more of the two animals, and then they remixed him because they needed him to sound a little bit more
humanish,
relatable, babyish.
Babyish. Because I tried to find this information and I couldn't find it.
So I found that on the Wikipedia page about Grogu.
Admittedly, I didn't look very hard.
I can tell.
But we've had a conversation about his baby voice, because it is animated baby voice in a lot of... No, it's not. It's some of his vocalizations are used. They're used in other animated things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're like sort of like out the box baby
I've
sound
got
effect.
some of them.
Oh, wow.
On hard drives, because it's your...
But if they're blending them with,
But that must be when he babbles a bit more.
It could be, yeah.
Interesting.
He does babble.
He does have a wide range.
Yeah, he's got almost like an entire vocabulary made of noises.
Yeah.
And some aren't even open mouth noises. He's got a lot of little groans and
I think it is much less in season 2, actually. I think season 1 we had a lot more of the generic baby.
Yeah, season 2 there's definitely an evolution. Definitely. There's some cinematography stuff that kind of stood out to me in this final sequence once Luke appears, and I don't know if it's done specifically when Luke is in shot, but it feels like the type of lenses they're using, like the choice of the lenses and the color grade, is very Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Like there's a particular way that the colors pop, and that the grays look in a particular way that we see a lot of in Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi has got such a specific look. I mean, it looks like a Star Wars film, but it does look different from Empire and A New Hope.
Yeah.
Empire's very washed out.
Yeah. Whereas Jedi's more vibrant. And I don't know if that's something to do with the technology at the time or what, but whatever it is, I'm sure they're using some LUTs on the kind of color grading to make it look
like that,
like Jedi, because it's the closest thing that we've got of Luke timeline wise.
Although it reminded me, the final hall leading to the bridge, I've got father like son Vader hallway scene Rogue One written in my notes because it's so. He even pulls the Dark Trooper towards him onto the blade like Vader does, and it's like, the apple hadn't fallen that far from the tree, has it? Really?
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
My note was he makes short work of an entire platoon with his hood over his eyes the entire time. He can't bloody see.
Well, he learned to use a lightsaber with a hooded helmet.
Yeah, that's
he did.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your eyes can deceive you.
Yeah. Or whatever. You must trust the living force here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No safety rails, so just don't walk too far on a diagonal.
Yeah. When Gideon opens fire on Koska and then turns the gun towards Grogu, and Mando just launching himself onto the floor. It's just such a beautiful, I'm going to take this shot. I love this kid. Even though he knows his armor can take the blaster rounds fine. It's just, I really loved it. But the thing I wanted to ask you two was whether you noticed, I ended up rewinding and listening to it again. The music that plays while Luke fights the troopers. It's, I'm calling it original trilogy style in that it's more strings, the flute isn't there, it's quite orchestral, but it's not quite any of the original trilogy themes. And then it merges more and more into those and finally becomes that when he unhoods on the bridge. And I found that wonderful, but then they flip it almost, because when he walks into the elevator with Grogu, it's the Mando theme music, but done with the orchestral huge strings.
Yeah.
And I just found it, I don't know how to describe how it made me feel. I was like, this is really interesting, the meshing of the old and the new and how they've done that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know if you two had keyed into that and what your thoughts were as people who are far more knowledgeable on music than me.
That's very interesting. I didn't notice it this time round. I feel like in the kind of back of my memory that I may have felt something about that on an earlier watch. I'm guessing from what you're describing, because I honestly didn't notice. I noticed the music at the beginning of the Luke sequence with the guitar. It's sort of almost the kind of Western Ennio Morricone guitar type thing over Luke, which it has that same effect of wow, what's going on here? It's still heroic and epic, but it isn't what we're used to hearing with Luke. But I feel the whole of that is reminding us that this is still the Mandalorian. It would be very easy to get swept away with Luke Skywalker and
just go straight into old themes and stuff.
Yeah. So although they use a bit of that, it keeps bringing us back to the Mando which is where we're hanging out.
And we're still in this.
Yeah, in Ludwigland.
I'm happy in Ludwigland.
It just has that Mando but it has that rather than, I don't know what instrument they've been using all along for that, but it sounds very much like instead we're doing this on a bunch of violins. It's like we're
going to do it as if
like a triumphant rise, as if it's original trilogy Mando music.
We're going to do it as if John Williams wrote it rather than Ludwig.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the way you describe that as like a meshing of the two things. That is so good. Yeah,
because it has a very unique the leitmotif of the flute, the whoa, 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 and then the way that's used, like you say, there's Gideon's theme, there's Grogu's theme, there's the Mandalorian itself's music. It has a very unique musical flavor, the whole show. And then they brought Luke in, and like you say, Deus Ex Jedi, he comes and saves the day. But then they almost go, but it's still Mandalorian. Even though he's taking Grogu away, we're still paying homage to what's come before, because he is from the before and he's come and saved the present. I found it really satisfying. Like I say, I listened to it, I rewound it, and I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes and listen.
It is really satisfying.
I think that did inform my reaction to it, actually, because I remember one of my sort of fifth sense memories of watching it the first time was, oh my gosh, we're in that galaxy, aren't we? Even though we've had Ahsoka and we've had Bo-Katan and we've had all these other characters, mostly they come from animated stuff, but to actually see Luke Skywalker, who is the original Star Wars hero, I don't know, it's somehow really using that word mesh, like you said, meshed it into the Star Wars galaxy that I'm familiar with from 50 years ago. That was a big thing. And I'm guessing the music played a big part in that without me even noticing, which is really cool.
Yeah. Incidentally, can I go on a tiny tangent?
Of course. We're here for tangents.
I do orchestral music lessons in primary schools, and
cool.
We're doing John Williams as our composer for year 3 and 4. And we played them Indiana Jones. They didn't get it, but they were all like, it sounds like Star Wars. And I was like, there's a reason for that. And they were like, why does it sound like Star Wars? I was like, it's the same guy. So
it's Han Solo's dreams in carbonite.
Yeah. So then they wanted to hear Star Wars, so we played them like 3 different pieces from Star Wars, and they were all so into it.
Nice.
We were showing them videos of the orchestra with John Williams conducting as well, so they were well chuffed. But
I've been doing a bit of those like YouTube rabbit holes of John Williams conducting Star Wars music, and there's something.
He just looks so happy when he's doing it. He's just he's got this lovely little smile on his face as he's conducting away at this orchestra, and it's like, yeah, you wrote that, and you know.
There's something about watching the orchestras play it as well, because normally you see it in the context of the film, but watching musicians actually playing it, and I know he didn't orchestrate all of it, lots of different people did, including a trans woman arranger, which I did not know about until recently. Nice bit of music history. In Empire Strikes Back, I think she worked on as an arranger, orchestrator. Anyway, so all these different people are doing it, but still, like, if you watch a concert of like John Williams classics, it's mind-boggling. Like, the guy is, I don't know. I can't find words to describe what he has done for popular culture. You know, you've got year 3 kids who already know the Star Wars themes, of course, and like it's so built into the DNA of our culture around the world, not just in the West even, but Star Wars is pretty much global. But then there's E.T. and like so many incredible Superman.
He did Jurassic Park as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So after all this spectacle,
oh my
goodness, we have a first for Star Wars television, which is a post-credit scene, kind of. Partway through a credit scene. Second?
Andor season 1 was out before this, wasn't it?
Oh.
And it has the post-credits right
the
at the
Death Star
end.
bit. Yeah, of course. Okay, I stand corrected.
I feel smug.
Good.
But yeah, we have a lush little epilogue here, which made my evening last night. I was shouting with joy again. I'd forgotten about it, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I forgot about it in my first rewatch last week, and when I rewatched again, I was like, I was fast forwarding to see if there was concept art, and I was like, there's this bit.
This bit is amazing. Like, I mean, knowing what we know now, it's kind of interesting, but still, it continued with this Return of the Jedi vibes, which we were just talking about with Luke. No frog this time.
No frog.
No creature whatsoever.
Creatures.
But we do have the shot of, like, well, Fennec first, but then when Boba comes down the stairs and you see his shadow, and it's it's the same trick of like, who is this coming? Well, we know he's coming because we've just seen Fennec come down.
Yeah.
Just the directing of this scene and like the kind of intentionalness about it, and Boba's just determination with what he's going to do is no messing about. He just takes out Fortuna. I love that Fortuna has just become Jabba, like he's just sitting on the throne.
Although he has a different taste in Twi'lek, he prefers blue rather than green. Yeah. And Fennec just helps herself to a drink at the end, and I love
She's got the spotchka.
Is that spotchka?
Amazing. Spotchka.
Yeah.
Amazing. She's going to get hammered. Yeah.
This is why the action figure of Fennec that I've got has spotchka, is because of this.
Because of that scene.
Tableau.
Yeah.
So good. And she just sits so casually on the arm of the
on his right hand woman.
Yeah. All of the feels over this. The more I watch, the more I love Fennec and Boba. I mean, I know there's a lot of criticism of the Book of Boba Fett as we're about to start watching, but I'm sure on a rewatch I'm going to love it all the more.
People get over it if they have a nice long soak in the Bacta tank.
It's what everybody needs. It's what we all need.
Sure.
I think after this marathon episode is what we're
is it another long one? It's always when I'm on, isn't it?
I mean, it was with these 2 episodes.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk
about.
Was
a lot.
You can't skip through this. It's big stuff. We should have probably done them one episode per episode.
No, but then I could have only come for one. So I'm glad you didn't.
It's true.
We got the benefit of you for both, which I'm so happy about.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Grogu? It was a benefit.
Listeners, if you're still here, congratulations. Don't forget, if you are still here, you must like it. So give us a 5-star review. Jessica's just shown us her merch. Yeah, go
it's
and get
so
the merch
comfy
on
and well fitted. You should definitely buy a tank top.
It's beautiful. And obviously, follow us on all the things. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Thing.
Can you please? Jessica's really good at this. She talks to us on YouTube, but
I can't shut up wherever I am.
We do love interaction.
Yeah, talk to us. We come
drop a comment.
Yeah, we are sustaining our listenership, which is a very positive thing for so far deep into the podcast that we are now. I'm very happy about that, but we need to grow our listenership. So
we're not quite into the outer rim yet.
No, we haven't made it to the outer rim.
We're possibly not even in the expansion region, but that's where we're aiming for.
Yeah.
We're breaking out of the core worlds. So, yeah.
There we go.
We've had such a great time, Jessica. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
having me again. Really, really
Always a joy.
It.
We're going to be seeing you again very soon, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Until next week, we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.